This just in. I had a client that I went to her house. She said she wasn't sleeping well. Very common these days. My new client is a sleepless client. Anyway, per usual, I'm checking out where the Wi-Fi routers are, where all the radio frequency devices are, cordless phones, cell phones, wireless routers, wireless everything. And I checked the electromagnetic fields and so forth. But anyway, there it was, the router right on the dresser that's opposite of the foot of her bed in the room. So just sitting right there, even with her not even 5 feet away, 3 feet away from the foot of from her foot in her bed. So I said, how are you sleeping? And she's like, not great. And I said, how long has this router been here? She's like, since I've moved in. How long have you been not sleeping? Since I moved in, blah, blah. So you do the little detective stuff that I do. And I said, I would highly recommend getting this router as far away from you as possible. And she said, well, my doctor said, because I said, not only are there electromagnetic fields that I can test with my meter, my Gauss meter, but I can also tell you that there's radio frequencies. And that's not great to push through your body, especially when you're trying to sleep. She's like, well, I have a pacemaker. And my doctor keeps saying, are you around something magnetic? And he said the pacemaker's being consistently not good results when she goes in for her 6-month checkup. I guess this thing has a reading on it that they can see the whole strand of events for the past 6 months. And he's like, we really have to figure out something else to do because you are consistently not getting good readings. All right, so she called her wireless company and said that she needs to move the router, or they need to come and move the router. They said, well, it's going to be $149 just to show up, $50 an hour. If we have to drill into a wall, it's going to be so much per drill, or whatever it was. It's going to cut 5 to 6 hours. I mean, it was looking like a very expensive move to get this router out of there. And she said, well, I have a pacemaker and I think it's affecting my pacemaker. And they were like, Bagak, what? Pacemaker? We'll be right out. They came out. They did the whole, they actually pushed her through to some medical office inside their company. And guess what? They actually have a list of medical codes of like, holy smokes, people with these problems, we have to move these things away completely. So they know it affects people's health. But when was the last time the guy that's showing up to throw a router in your house says, hey, by the way, do you have this problem, right? Nobody that I know of, said no one, right? So they came out and they moved it that day. They asked her what else they could do for her. She was like, I don't know, 3 free months of Wi-Fi. And they're like, you got it. I mean, it went from a very expensive fix to a free fix and then some on the positive end. Yes, she had to show her pacemaker card that she actually had the issue, but and she's so looking forward to seeing. She's not going to tell the doctor that she did anything. She's going to go back to the doctor. I think it's October when she said she was going back for her 6-month checkup, and she wants to see if this little pacemaker that's tracking her every move for 6 months is going to show an uptick in health, and it's going to show a negation of that magnetic field that doctor is scratching his head on, trying to figure out what she's being exposed to. Why don't people come to your house? You are a product of your environment. Doctors, please tell your patients to hire somebody, a bowel biologist, a feng shui consultant who knows bowel biology, healthy home types testing stuff, to get after it and get into the house, especially if they have like a pacemaker. You know, there's hospitals that say, do not have cell phones in the area because this is, if you have a pacemaker, don't come near the microwave. They know it affects things. So I'm just telling you, I don't know what all the rest of those codes are, but they actually have a list of medical codes, she was told. And of course, the pacemaker was on there. So my advice to you is get that router away from you, especially if you have a condition that you can prove, right? call them up and say, move this thing to as far away from me where I spend the most amount of time as possible. They actually went, quote, above and beyond. They moved the router and they were like, where do you office? We want to check your whole office. And they were doing more than what she even asked them to come out and do. So, wireless things, microwave ovens, cordless phones, cellular phones, all these things don't work by magic. They work by radio frequencies, a type of microwave radiation. I'm not talking about like nuclear fallout. Long story, don't want to get into it. But it is a type of, our biology is not set up to take on these kind of microwaves. And so I urge you to, turn off the hotspot of your router. You have to call the company and like Xfinity or whoever it is, call them and say, I don't want a hotspot, because that is even going above and beyond what you're paying for. A lot of routers now have the company's hotspot in it to blanket the city with their own Wi-Fi. I'm talking to you, Xfinity. Anyway, I'm sure there's other ones too. I know that one for sure. And then by all means, get the cordless phones out of the house. Get the cell phones away from you when you're not using them. Keep them away from them anyway. Throw that microwave out of the house. It's not supporting your health. And for sure, if you have a pacemaker, get the router away from you. So, hot tip for the day. They know the medical conditions that their stuff is affecting. It's not like a neutral thing that you've brought into your house. It is a potential health hazard. And I would say most often health hazard. All right, so that's your feng shui tip for the day. I hope that's helpful, especially if there's somebody out there with a pacemaker that's scratching their head like, what is my problem? That could be it, especially if you're in a multifamily situation. Maybe you've got a bank of smart meters outside of your house or on the side of your other side of your headboard bed. Look around, look on the other side of walls, ceilings, floors, look all around and see what's in eye shot, ear shot, and radio wave shot. You can't even see them, right? So take a look around, invite somebody in that has these meters to test. If you need the advice for people, message me and let me know. Maybe I know somebody in your city. Look up Bow Biology. They have a place, Bow Biology. Just type in building biology and it'll pop up the site and it'll say find a consultant. I don't know the URL right now, but maybe I can put it on the site when I post this. So I'm urging you, get healthy, get rid of your Wi-Fi stuff and get that router away from you. All right, that's your tip for the day. Have a good one. Have a healthy one. Take care.